Hey guys, it's your boy Overkills over here, and today I'm going to be doing a review of Crystal Dynamics' reboot of Tomb Raider. And as you can see right off the bat, Lara Croft is in trouble. Ouch. Ouch. Right onto a steel rod. That can't be good. But you know what, that's not the only time in this game she's going to be in trouble. So with that being said, let's get on to it. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the single player and multiplayer of Tomb Raider. And I gotta tell you guys, this game is just great off the bat. You know, Crystal Dynamics, their last game that they had put out was back in 2010, Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. I'm glad they took their time with putting this game out, because you could definitely tell that they really put their hours into this game. You know, visually, you guys can see this game looks very well put together. And, you know, I'm glad they took their time and they really did their work here instead of giving us some sort of regurgitated crap. But, you know, I'm very happy with it. You know, I'm not a big single player fan, but this game is definitely going to get me playing all crazy hours to finish this game. I mean, the only reason I stopped was basically do a review for you guys and what I thought of the game was fun. Alright, so let's get into graphics wise. You know, this game looks amazing. I don't have to tell you, guys have seen screenshots, you guys have seen trailers, but in game, you know, the way Crystal Dynamics has went from your cinematic to live action, you know, it is great. Usually, you know, I don't like games too much that you know, have too many cinematic gameplay implemented to the game. But, you know, they did a great job of implementing it the right way, and, you know, because it flows with the storyline. So you're pretty happy with it. You know, you PS3 guys, this is gonna remind you of, you know, Uncharted. And I gotta tell you guys, this game, in my opinion, the movements are so much better in this game than Uncharted. It really feels like when you're controlling Lara to go a certain way, it just feels very fluid. I mean, Uncharted, when it came out, you know, was so great. I've never seen any game like the way they used lightings and visuals in that game was amazing. Obviously, that was a couple years ago, and they're always going to come out with a game that is going to break the boundaries and barriers of what we expect. And this game, in my opinion, graphically does that. You can see the movements here, very crisp, and gameplay is very smooth. And, you know, I am playing this on the Xbox 360, but I'm pretty sure it would probably move the same way on the PS3. Another thing that I do like in this game is the sound effects and the music. There is a scene that comes up. It's gonna come up pretty soon. I believe it should be coming up right now. This scene right here, where Lara gets trapped on a bear trap, I believe, and then she starts to hear some noises rustling up, made me feel like I was in a movie. Made me feel that, you know, something's coming, so my guard is up, and you could see, you know, all these birds are moving around, and you don't know, you know, leaves and bushes are moving around all directions, so you really don't know where it's coming from. I love it when games can really implement great sound effects and great music, and this game does a great job of that. Like right there, well, I didn't know where that was coming from. You know, so that was great. The controls. The controls are nothing groundbreaking or new. Pretty easy to use. They have a tutorial, you know, as you go along, just like any other game, on how to use your bow and arrow, how to use your guns, how to cycle through your weapons, you know, how to upgrade your weapons, you know, how to move with your weapons. Basically, anything you need to know. But the game is very fluid, you know, so it becomes very easy to use your weapons, you know, as you go along. The last thing I want to talk about is, you know, upgrading your skills, as well as upgrading, you know, your ammo. You know, they have a great, I guess save. I don't know if it's really a save point, but when you get to it, you can, upgrade, whatever you need to upgrade, obviously, to help you as the game goes along. It's basically a part of every other game. That's pretty much it for the single player. Now getting into the multiplayer. Multiplayer is what I expected it to be for this game. The multiplayer is not the best thing, I guess I could say, in this game. As you could see in a minute, the graphics, are not the best thing in this game, and it literally looked like it took a really big hit, but obviously, they pretty much shored up everything for the single player, so I can't really be mad at them for that. I guess they just threw it in here, just like any other game, just to have it in here. I mean, that's one thing where Uncharted. I really like that. I like the multiplayer in Uncharted. Graphics looked really well, really good. And the gameplay was okay. This game, it just doesn't seem like the movements are the same. It doesn't seem like they just seem like they just put it in just to put it in the game. This game type I was playing was I believe it was called Cry for Help. Yeah, it was called Cry for Help, where you have to either capture batteries from dead enemies and capture certain stations. So it's like a capture point type game as well. I think they have 3 types of gameplays in this thing: team deathmatch, and this other thing called rescue, where I think you have to carry a medipack to a certain spot. So it's one of those things where they only have 3 game types. They just put it in the game, But listen, if they would have had a great multiplayer and a great single player, this probably would have been the greatest game ever made. But I'd be happy with a great single player, because usually when I get a single player game, like I said, it usually ends up going on a shelf. I mean, I'm going to end up playing this game, and then, I'll probably trade it in or, down the line. But I'm definitely going to get my enjoyment out of this game. So, single player, I'm definitely going to play all the way through. Multiplayer, I'm probably not going to ever play it again. I hate to be harsh to these guys. I mean, but Crystal Dynamics has done a great job. Single player, multiplayer, I just feel like they just, really just threw it in here. But what are you going to do? But anyways, guys, that's my review for single multiplayer. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please definitely leave a like. If there's something that you want me to work on, leave that in the comment section. I'd love to take anything, into heed. Anyways, peace. Thanks for listening, and I am out.